Back with another episode, and today is me eating a lot of food again. You know, I feel like day of eatings have been done to death a little bit. I see it all the time. I see so many people doing it. But I will say this, even though it's been done to death, I still find myself, if I see it on my recommended YouTube, I still find myself a little bit intrigued as to what someone's eating, right? In off-season, I'm in my current off-season push as well, where I'm actively trying to grow new muscle tissue rather than just recovering or health phase and all that. So I'm actively, my steroid cycle's higher, my food's higher, I'm using insulin, I'm really trying to push things. Stabilized at the moment around about 300 kilograms, 300 pounds body weight. I'm eating 7,000 calories at the moment a day. So this is me eating 7,000 calories. Not really gaining a hell of a lot at the moment. it's not like I'm shooting up. I shot up from 290 to 300 pounds in the last 6 weeks. So I have, gained, but I'm not gaining much anymore. I find myself sort of leveling off now. Steroid cycle is 750 milligrams of testosterone. It's 800 milligrams of primobolan, and it's 300 milligrams of DECA. I like pinning less. DECA seems to be out of favor and MPP seems to be in favor, even though they're the same thing. But yeah, DECA. So I'm using 300 milligrams of DECA as well. And I use 10 IU of Nova Rapid pre-workout and 10 IU of this as well post-workout. So 20 IU of insulin. That's it. So meal one, about to go down. So what I found in off-season is that you need to be really, really careful at the food choices you have. Like in prep, everything tastes good. In off-season, no. Like if I do my bagels wrong, or if I cook my eggs wrong, like if the eggs are too runny, I can't stomach runny eggs. Whereas on prep, it's like a delight, when you bite into the egg and it like drips down. So there's a few things I need to be mindful of. If I get it wrong, I'm like, whoa, I know it's gonna be a tough meal and I have to end up drinking a mouthful of water with every mouthful I have. So anyway, meal one, calorie count is gonna be here. And prep, I often put my food right back. So I might not even have meal one until about midday. And that suits me better in prep. I actually like that feeling of feeling a bit hungry and just feeling, whatever. Whereas in off season, if I'm eating late, today is even later than I'd like. It's like 9:30, 10 at the moment, I'm not sure. That's probably going to be a late day. But I find that the insulin really helps, if I'm honest with you. Without the insulin, I find this way more tough. The insulin obviously brings my blood sugar down. I'm able to eat faster than I would if I was not using that. So I find the insulin a very, very good tool when you're someone who struggles like me. A lot of my clients don't tend to struggle, so I don't always put my clients on insulin, but it's definitely a good tool if you're someone who struggles with appetite. So yeah. All right, I better crack on, otherwise I'm going to be here forever. Today is also chest and triceps, so I'll be getting a little bit of footage of that. And that's that. So now it's around 11:30 and meal two is about to go in. One of the things on prep as well, I like to train, this is just like a personal preference, I like to train with not that much in my stomach. I don't like the feeling of being really full and then trying to do like something physical. So normally on prep, I'll have one meal, then train. Like a personal preference thing, and that's what I would do if I was not competing. But that's just not a possibility with the way that I do things now, the amount of food I've got to eat. So meal two's going in. So what it is, so we have 200 grams of sirloin steak. And what I do with the sirloin steak is I always cut off the fatty bit. I just can't stand eating that. So that brings the calories down, but it's 200 grams of the meat itself. So it actually ends up being 1.5 packs because of how much I cut off. The dog gets a bit of a treat there. 100 grams of rice, and I always use microwave rice. Actually prefer the taste of it, and it's so convenient. So for those of you struggling with food prep, 2 minutes in the microwave, easy as that. So I'll try to get in now. And then also for this meal is some liquid calories. So I have this litre of red grape juice. So yeah, this is 720 calories for the whole thing. So 720 and then plus this. Anyway, calorie count's going to be here. And yeah. So what I found is certain things I find way easier to eat than others. Sirloin steak, it's usually fairly thin, which I find quite easy, less chewing. Chicken becomes less enjoyable for me. Mincemeat definitely becomes less. Mincemeat actually becomes one of the hardest things for me. And in prep, mincemeat tends to be my favourite meal. So it's weird how it works out that way, you know, what you can tolerate. I actually said this on Instagram yesterday, things that I can eat in prep versus off season are not necessarily the same, and it does change. Even throughout off season, I alter certain things because I just can't stand them. Because I just don't enjoy them towards the end. You know, when you're hungry and when you're not hungry, the difference, the way the food tastes. So for me, I find this quite easy to eat. So yeah, this is a funny one. It probably doesn't even matter because I'm in off season. I guess I can have more calories, but this is something I recommend that everyone uses. The reason why, I never used to say this before, but some people used to tag me on their Instagram stories and their food was like swimming in oil, and I was like, bloody hell. So yeah, try and use this, especially for those who are dieting down. But anyway, I use this just for sake of ease. A few sprays in the pan. And then this one's probably going to trigger some steak fans, right? But I'm going to say it anyway. How I have my steak, again, just for sake of ease. So I'll grab the steak and I'll chop it into little chunks. Yeah, and as I say, this is probably going to trigger people who are into steak because just little chunks like this, just for sake of ease. Cooks quicker. Yeah, it's nice and easy. And to be honest with you, I'm not doing this for nouvelle cuisine or fine dining. I literally just want the result. As I say, for those of you who are really into your steak, this is probably going to be blasphemy. And the fatty bits like this is a little treat for my dog. Do you know what another weird one is that I've struggled to eat during off season? That's mayonnaise. I can't really stand mayonnaise, to be honest with you. Hot sauce tends to stay quite loyal, but yeah, mayonnaise, struggle with a little bit. It's okay in small quantities, but certainly for this meal, I'd rather it was a little bit more plain. So it's literally just a tiny bit of hot sauce, rice, steak, and this. Well, this goes down very easily. No chewing. Why red grape? Because I like it. It's a fruit juice, and I like it. That's it, really. Sometimes I might get pineapple. I like pineapple too. I've had apple juice, orange juice, but at the moment, my current favourite is red grape juice. So that's what I'm going with, and that's that. So meal 2, I'm going to have this. Get back to a couple of clients of mine. Got a couple of new starters as well. And then walk Franco. One more meal, then the gym. Okay, I'm going to have to concentrate right now. That is Franco walked. And now it's time for meal 3, which is pre-workout. So that means insulin in first. So as I mentioned before, that's 10 IU pre. And I'm actually going to do this live. Simple as that. And then I'm going to go in with 150 grams of cream of rice, complete strength cream of rice, FYI, caramel biscuit flavour, and then 60 grams of sticky toffee pudding whey, again from complete strength. Who are my sponsors, FYI? If you want discount on their products, Ryan10. There you go. Another one of the problems being in off season, well, you can see there's a problem, you can see I've got the solution, is I don't like eating this. I find it very hard to eat 150 grams cream rice. Possible, of course it is, but it just takes me forever. So instead, what I do is drink it into the blender, and then 150 grams of cream rice. I don't weigh it because I know that a leveled scoop of this is 50 grams. Here we go. Here we go. And 3 to make it 150 is done. And this here, 30 grams plus another 30 grams and we're good to go. And that's that. And then we blend this out. Annoyingly, there's always a fucking bit caught on the side. Piss me off. So make sure I don't waste anything. Every gram counts. This boy has got to grow. Here we go. So as I say, if I were to eat this, like I do in prep it is spectacular. But in off season, this would probably take me 20 minutes to half an hour to eat. Whereas if I just drink it, there's maybe 10 seconds. There's actually a little bit more though. That's better. Right. Yeah, so I can do it very, very fast. You know, the whole thing, a minute or two, you know, including like weighing it up and stuff. Yeah, so that is that. And the calorie count for this meal is here. And the reason why I do this, so what I'm trying to do is around the training window, I'm trying to increase my body's ability to uptake the nutrients. So this really comes in handy. Now, if we look at my day as a whole, it's around about 1,000 grams of carbohydrates. That's quite a lot of gastric stress. And putting in exogenous insulin is really going to help out the whole process of my body to utilize the food that I'm putting in. As I mentioned also, it's really, really good for me to have a better appetite because it's going to bring my blood sugar levels down. And also, it really does help me put on weight. When I'm not using insulin versus when I'm using insulin, I'll have a different look. I'll just be slightly fuller. So very, very good tool for people who are struggling with appetite, struggling to gain weight, and eating a high level of food. Now, if you're not someone who's struggling with gaining weight and you're not struggling with appetite, you don't have to have insulin. It's not like insulin is an absolute essential tool, but it can work for some people. A lot of my clients, again, will ask, should I use it? Should I use it? Well, it depends. If you're gaining 1 kilogram a week, every week, and your appetite is absolutely fine, in fact, you're probably quite hungry, maybe you don't need it. You know, you're growing just fine. But for someone like me, my weight really does stall. It really stalls and my appetite is terrible. That's why I find prep easy and I find off-season hard. So for me, it actually works really, really well. But anyway, that's that. Intra-workout drink coming up. On to my intra-workout drink. Now, this is pretty important for people who are going to be using insulin. Like, if you're not using insulin, do you have to use intra-workout drinks? I wouldn't say it's essential. However, it can help. But, now this is important. If you're using insulin and you've used Nova Rapid, you are going to experience a bit of a dip. Maybe in, like, I don't know, somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, you will likely feel you'll go hypo. And what that means is your blood sugar levels are going to really, really crash. Especially for someone to have carbohydrates with them, is that this here in my intra-workout drink is going to prevent that hypo from happening, because of the introduction of carbohydrates is mean my blood sugar is going to level out and I'm not going to be in any dangerous levels. So, definitely something that we should be taking seriously. But don't be put off by it. Don't be put off by insulin by the fact that it could go wrong. Like, anything could go wrong, right? You know, lifting heavy weight could go wrong. Doing anything can, you know. Insulin must be respected though. So I would absolutely recommend that you have this on hand. So what we have here, 25 grams with a leveled scoop of cyclic-dextrin. This is a very easily digestible carbohydrate. And that's 50 grams in my intra-workout. So that's an extra 200 calories here. So then also we have essential amino acids, and I really love this flavour from Complete Strength, strawberries. Before I had a tropical flavour and I was not so sure on it. This one, very, very good. We have creatine, staple, obviously. I can always lose the little spoon thing. There we go. And then after that we have spillage is what we have. Now then we have the hydration product. And my cat on the door. And my dog goes crazy off the back of it. Very, very masculine meow there. Right, some food for the boy. Biscuits. Where were we? Hydration product. During your training session, good idea. Going to help with the pump as well. Not that I notice it when I'm in off season, to be honest, but hey, another really good flavour here to go along with it. Strawberry and kiwi, again, similar to the kiwi, similar to the EAAs as well. Then we have Health Aid. Now this one's specific for me because, well, I mean anyone. It's not my product, but what I mean is I'm specifically putting it in here. Now I don't particularly like the taste of this one. Cards on the table, but when it's in there, I don't even notice it. So Health Aid, this is going to help out with organ health basically. So I would have that in the day, but where I don't particularly enjoy the flavour, I put it in with my Intra and I don't even notice it. That's why I have that here. Information on the products is worthwhile going to the Complete Strength website. And then finally, we have glutamine. So you notice, fucking messy this is. You notice I am not that precise with my measurements because they have a scooper and the scooper is measured. So I use the scooper as my measurement. Okay, that in there. And here we go. Shake it up. One's up. See if it likes the smell. That's a no. Anyway, shake it up. And that is my Intra, sponsored by Complete Strength. Done. Right, and so the chest session today is going to consist of 5 different exercises. And actually with my chest training, annoyingly, I've got to think about what I do with chest. I can't just slam weights, but when I just only do like contraction stuff, I don't feel the same level of enjoyment. So what I incorporate still is like a couple of sets of like just me pushing because I enjoy doing that. And then some other bits as well. So the first movement is always the thing where I'm going to push a little bit more. I might do some dumbbell pressing as well. Depends on how my shoulder feels on this one. This shoulder's always a little bit dodgy. But yeah, that's it. Today is very sunny. And it's like the beginning of spring. Really does make a difference, you know. Lifts your mood. So yeah, the annoying thing about my chest as well is that in 2020 I was diagnosed with cervical spondylosis. What that means is the nerve canal within my spine from C7 to C4 is restricted. And specifically, it affects my right side, but it makes me weaker across the board. In 2020 I got notably weaker, but I started to atrophy in the posterior head of my deltoid, the lateral head of my tricep, and also my right pec. I just started to get smaller. I couldn't really work out why. So I get smaller, weaker. I literally lost strength overnight, like overnight. I went from benching 140 kilos, like flat bench, for 23 reps. And then quite literally 1 week later, I could do it for 1 rep. I have no idea. Like at the time, I had no idea what was going on. Then, you know, as I said, MRI scans, I had it on my thoracic and cervical, and yeah, so I found out that I had that. Since then, I've never really been able to replicate the strength that I had previous, which is a bit annoying. And I do believe that it affects my ability to grow in my chest, because I don't think that the same blood flow is going through there due to nerve issues, like nerve impingements. So I just do what I can. So I know that I'm not as strong as I used to be. That sounds like an excuse, but I'm not. And I just got to work around it, basically. And I think it's pretty frustrating because, you know, we all look at people on Instagram thinking, you know, they lift what they lift, and you know, you can't help but think, oh, I could have done that. I should be able to do that. I should be doing that plus more. But unfortunately, life isn't so sweet. So, you know, you've got to work around the niggles and the injuries and the restrictions that you have. Do what you can. But a lot of what I say isn't necessarily proven. For example, I say that I think my growth potential is affected because of my condition. I can't prove that. I'm just going by eye. It's like my chest is abnormally flat when I don't train it. Like when I train it and I get a pump and I train it very regularly, fine. But if I don't, for example, for a little while, it goes so flat, and it would indicate that I'm not getting a lot of nutrients / blood flow to it. So yeah, it's a bit of a shitter. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm just going to go through my session, and that's that. So post-workout now is the 10 IU of insulin again, accompanied with 250 grams of shreddies, and then a further 60 grams of whey, and that is my meal number, oh, I'm forgetting, number 4. And the calorie count will be here. And yeah, here we go. And also the whey. Meal number 5 is veg. 150 grams of rice and 250 grams of chicken. And here's the kicker. Thai green paste, light coconut milk. On and off season, you'd think, well, why use light coconut milk? Why not just use normal one? I tried the normal one. It was too much. It was way too much. This lighter one I actually enjoy the taste of more. So this here, I use about 100 grams of this, and that is 190 calories. And I use about just over half a tin of this as well, and that is about 150 calories, give or take. And it makes it so much more easy to eat. Like if I try and have just chicken and rice, I just figured it was a really easy way of making it more densely caloried. Also, I love Thai green, so it kind of just works out pretty well. And it's one of them foods that I don't really get that bored of. I must have had it about 25 times now, Thai green, and in the last like month or so, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna have, oh shit, I just cut myself with our new knives. Yeah, calorie count is here for meal number 5. So gonna crack on now. We are midnight and the meal 6 is going to go in to take us to our total, and again going in with 150 grams of cream of rice, 50 grams of whey, 1, 2, 3 eggs, a banana, to finish off 30 grams of peanut butter. So here is the mix, about a pint of water in there as well. Blend that shit up. And here we go. It really does taste alright actually, this one. The peanut butter banana really help it. It does sit on me a little bit and my stomach feels ginormous, but I basically fall asleep within the next 20 minutes, half hour. And I don't even notice it anyway, so fuck it. By the time I wake up in the morning, fine. And repeat. So that is meal number 6, and the calorie count will go here. And that's me done for the day. Let's see what my evening weight is. I'll do it in kilograms and I'll convert it to pounds. Let's have a little look. So the evening weight of 137. Yeah, I think that's about 303 pounds maybe. So that's what I, yeah, during the day, I'm always around this sort of weight. And so I'll wake up about 5 pounds lighter and then just redo it again. Until the morning.